Hi. I leave. I leave for a couple days. A couple. I go offline for a couple days, and the world catches on fire. um, I just wanted to come back and see how everyone was doing on the channel. Check, check. This is a test. This is a, this. This is a test 1 2. The test 1 2. Hello, Vancouver. The audios. We're getting some massive latency on the audio. The world is insane. Hey, you guys see what's going on in the Middle East? See what's going on in America? Man, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. Can we even talk about that on YouTube? Can we talk about what's going on in the world on YouTube? Also, why does my voice sound so funny? Diamond Authentic. Let me see if I can fix the funny latency things we got going on. It's been wonky. It's been really wonky lately. No music. It's almost like an AI or like a womp 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 womp. I'm hearing it through my headphones. We might have to start over, but before I do, that COVID strain that's going around, or if it's COVID or whatever flu, there's always a flu this time of the year. It was despite what we call it, but it was something weird. I caught it a couple weeks ago, and it's still been going for me. Oh, diamond! It takes. You know what I've been using? I mean, to be fair, I've been using a lot of stuff that's right here out of the mountains. You've been boiling various sage teas and mugwort teas. I've been giving a little bit of it to my child because he got sick, and it's not bad. It's just lingering for whatever it is this year. It's just been lingering, constantly lingering. It's very strange. Another intelligent agent. We still bugging though? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. All right. How do you guys feel about what's going on in the Middle East? Beam, blush. Beaming and blushing and blushing and beaming and masking and scheming and brother fighting brother and oh man, sister fighting sister and people at each other's throats. It's been so wild. You know, it's isn't it interesting how across the map, say a year ago, yeah, across the map a month ago, people acknowledge how much the media misinforms, disinforms. How many times it's been caught lying? Everyone knows that the major media corporations, that the governments are all run by this sort of cabal, this behind the scenes puppeteers. JFK talked about it, Eisenhower talked about it. Prominent social figures in politics have talked about it. This ain't a woo woo thing. But then I don't think people realize that that's what's happening right now. Like, people don't realize that's what's happening. We are in that. Right? During times of trial and tribulation, during times of trial and tribulation, when darkness happens, people never perceive it as darkness. The Holocaust was never perceived as darkness by the Germans doing it. Or any of the communist movements, right? Well, at the time, it's only in hindsight do these dark things seem ridiculous. That's sort of the nature of darkness. The nature of darkness is you can't see it. Is confusing, it is confounding, it is obscure. And in that obscurity, it's like a free-for-all. Whoever can make any sense at all, even if it sounds good, is gonna win. And I wish people would see that now. I don't want to say exactly what I'm talking about because I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it on YouTube, but it's all over the media, or of course the media can talk about it. I talk about it. You talk about it. Our favorites talk about it, and they're immediately shadow banned. So I'm gonna try not to talk about it. But there's high velocity lead being thrown all around the Middle East right now. If you catch my drift, high velocity lead. I'll leave it up to you guys to figure out what it is that I'm talking about. And it's really this insanely dark, manipulative, lying, deceitful organization that's been around for thousands of years. Some might even say since the fall of Atlantis. Some might say it was the fall of Atlantis that sort of let this darkness, this obscurity run wild, this unbalanced obscurity run wild. And it causes you and I to argue amongst each other, to bicker amongst each other, to throw high velocity lead at each other in high quantities, unaliving each other, when in reality, those who are in control are sitting on their, where would they even be? They're sitting up top, way up there. They're at the balcony seats. They're looking down on the crowd. They're on the balcony seats, looking down at the theater that they've created, watching us fight each other, watching us argue, red versus black, man versus woman, Israel versus Palestine, and that ain't the problem at all. That ain't the problem at all. I don't know. What do you? How are you guys living? Are you able to? Are you breathing easy? Are you at ease in the world? Are you happy? Are you anxious? Are you breathing at night? Are you sleeping at night? The more of us awaken, the more powerful and swift karma becomes. I can see that. You sort of have the karma of an entire nation, of an entire world behind you. Is that what you're getting at? The more people on this frequency, the more the frequency acts, the more amplification it has. Is that what you're getting at, Piccolo? I hear you. I hear you. Anywho, what is going on in the world right now? What is going on in the world right now? Some people say that chaos is a good thing. Some might argue, thank God that everyone sees what's happening, because it's always been happening. Now it's just more relevant. That's one philosophy. Another philosophy is the only reason why it's as bad as it is now, with the wars, all of the wars that have been instigated in the past week or so, year or so, is a result of the cabal realizing its inevitable demise, and as a result is kicking and screaming as it goes out. The world is waking up, I will admit to that, but what happens to that awakening? Because what here's one really bad false awakening symptom, probably the worst false awakening symptom, is people go, oh, they shout, I am God, this is all an illusion. It's all an illusion. Oh, I'm awake to the truth that there is no spoon. And while you would be correct in saying that it's a half truth, it both is and it is not at the same time. For example, it is an illusion, but it is a persistent illusion, and it's an illusion that we all share collectively. It is real in that it is real in that it is the absolute truth for our reality. Following? It is real in that it is a truth for all of our reality. It is a truth that it is an illusion, in other words. It's the divine paradox. If you study alchemy, it is the divine paradox. It both is and is not at the same time. And the false awakening terror, if you will, is that people don't take it serious enough. Right? There's a delicate balance in sobriety. How serious are you? How lighthearted are you going to be? How serious are you going to be? Are you going to take action, or are you going to say it's all meaningless? It's not real. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I do because none of it's real. And that is the false awakening symptom that is inevitable. Right? I don't want to criticize it too heavily. You can't not have that. That is, you first wake up and like, oh my God, none of it's real. So what do you do with that information? What do you do with that information? What do you do? Well, what the alchemist does, what the everyone wants to talk about alchemizing the soul and transmutation and yada yada yada, bada bing, bada boom. Some friends become enemies, some enemies become friends. Yeah, you gotta learn how to use the laws that are around us so that you can manipulate this reality. And that's the illusionary aspect of it. The illusionary aspect doesn't mean everything means nothing. It means because it is not real in that it is unchanging, that we can change it. We can ascend. We're not stuck where we are forever because reality isn't real as in unchanging. In other words, you have the ability to become an ascended master. You have the ability to transmute things because of the illusionary state of things. If it sucks horribly, you can change it. If the state of the world is awful, you can change it. If the state of your inner world is awful, you can change it. That is how the illusionality of existence should be viewed. Yes, it's an illusion only because it's constantly changing. If a thing is constantly changing, that means it is not real with a capital R. It is not truth with a capital T, right? Because if it is, that's why they say perfection doesn't exist, because perfection is stagnant. Stagnance doesn't exist. The aim towards perfection exists, but absolute perfection does not, unless we're talking about the all or something like that. The thing from which all change comes from, the thing that enables change to always exist, that underlying reality, the all, some might call it. That is the only absolute. Everything else is the illusion, the thing subject to change. But an illusion that is very persistent. Universal, hello, love you too. Just like when Earth become heaven, we become more powerful. False in Neo Advaita. Lemuria, nice to see you, by the way, Lemuria. When you awaken inside, you become heaven for that life, and they grow more powerfully, affecting the other life on the outside of you. All right, fair. I hear you. Everyone slap that like button. Let's go ahead and grow Let's go ahead. Hey, as Piccolo says, let's grow the awakening. Slap that like button. Anywho, wow. Have you guys started preparing? I hope you guys have started preparing. I have like a dozen flint, these really cool flint packets that come. It's like a block of magnesium that you shave off, and then it has the spark magnesium slab on top. So you can get a little pile of magnesium metal and then light it with the spark that's attached. I have a bunch of those. I have a bunch of water purifiers. I've only been adding to my garden plants that have been known historically to survive populations of humans. Like Jerusalem artichoke, for example. Not from Jerusalem, not an artichoke. It's actually in the sunflower family and native to North America. Some people think that, or not think, but they know the natives were giving this to the pilgrims when they first landed, when they were still homies. Drought tolerant, disease and pest tolerant, all the things. Low water, low maintenance, high caloric value, high nutritional value, high mineral content. We're going loquat trees, which can survive a drought in the middle of Southern California. What else are we doing? We got some neem trees, so we can have natural insecticides in case, because if petroleum, so they're threatening in the Middle East, right? If you clicked on this video, what's going on? What's going on is that Saudi Arabia, one of the many things that's important to this conversation at the moment is they're talking about cutting off the oil supply if, can I say Israel? If Israel doesn't stop doing what they're doing, all the major oil companies are going to stop selling oil to the U.S. because the U.S. is supporting Israel. Whether you support it or not, that's not the topic at the moment. But petroleum products get cut off. Whoo! All your fertilizers done, your insecticides done. So you better be prepping. You want your garden to be up to speed. You want to know where you want to locate all your natural spring sources. I have a map. Hey, Drew. Give me a second. One of my homies, I'll be right back. Get some water. Hey, Drew. Oh, I'm back. I'm back. Did you miss me? Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. Hello, hello. Oh, we have a bunch of different dawn, glamour, sepia. That's funny. All right, I'm back. What are we talking? Plants? Yeah, we can't not talk about plants, I guess, right? We can't not can't not talk about the plants. Life is just getting better. OBZRV. You're right. OBZRV, when you say life is just getting better, it is. It is. If you look, what's the word? Statistically speaking, less wars than ever before, less murders, less pillaging, plundering, less thievery. All the horrendous things that happen in the world, statistically speaking, are getting better. But at the same time, the light has been cast into the darkness, into the depths of the darkness. And as you all know, when that happens, you start to see, it's kind of like that dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul is what the reason why people like to want to avoid the dark night of the soul is because they're afraid of what they see. It's better to just pretend it doesn't exist. The whole planet is undergoing a dark night of the soul, and now we're seeing the things that we still have to work out, and it's like, oh, okay, we fixed a bunch of minor problems, great, it's getting better, but now we know some major atrocities that are happening, and we should probably fix those. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, again, in alchemy, there's a phrase that says, or in hermetics, that says, it's best not to start, but once started, it's best to finish. That's the Matrix. As in the movie with Neo, that's the Matrix philosophy, where it's like, hey, you can take the red pill or the blue pill. You take the blue pill, you go back to sleep, everything's fine. But you take the red pill, you wake up to the reality. But if you take the red pill, I can't put you back to sleep. Which means you're stuck in the reality that is more true. And you either do something about it to adjust to the new reality, or you go insane and die and start over, and better luck next time. That's what it means. It's best not to start, but if you start, it's best to finish, because then you get caught in the in-between world. And that's where madness thrives. Madness thrives in the in-between. Madness, anxiety, depression thrives in the what's that word? Liminal spaces. In the liminal space that you're not quite here, not quite there, you know what I mean? So good luck. If you are one of the people who took the red pill, you best follow through. You best commit. I don't know if you guys are ever in extreme sports. It's like when I used to snowboard. And it's like, okay, I'm going to do a new trick. I'm going to hit this rail. I'm going to do this. And if you don't commit to what you're doing, you kind of half-ass it. You end up falling real hard. Yes, my love. Are you wearing boots right now?
Daddy.
Yes.
Daddy.
What?
Daddy, and that work features.
You asked Mommy to do it. I'm working right now.
No, Mom's taking a bath.
Well, then play something else. I'll help you in a little bit. Sorry, love.
You know?
Atlas says hello, everyone. Atlas says hello. What in the world is happening? What's happening in the world is a global dark night of the soul of people deciding they want to take the red pill, and pray for them that they commit and go all the way through. All the way through. ATM machines are disappearing. That I didn't know, OB. Piccolo, creating heaven on earth involves producing gardens not just for ourselves, but for all life on earth. Piccolo son, I love going back and forth with you, Piccolo son. I hope you don't think that I'm like, anywho, I'm all about gardens for the self. I'm gonna have to say I politely and sincerely disagree with you in form, but agree with you in contexts. I believe it might be more important for us to cultivate gardens for ourselves and not even think about the world, because the world is made up of an infinite amount of selves, and if all the selves can cultivate their gardens, both metaphorically speaking and literally what you're growing in your backyard, then the world at large will be a better place. We'll be able to give from our overflow. For example, when you're in an airplane, you watch the video, the safety videos, and they say, if the plane depressurizes, please apply your oxygen mask first before helping those around you. And the reason why is because if the ones who are capable of helping die first because they didn't put their masks on, everyone dies. So it's best, it says, to make sure you put your oxygen mask on first so that you can live long enough and be healthy enough to help those around you. I have sort of the same philosophy. It's like, hey, make sure you cultivate your own garden. Don't worry. Forget about trying to save the world. Everyone wants to save the world. Everyone wants to be Superman. Everyone wants to be the next Jesus. Everyone wants to be the next ascended master that awakens all of humanity. And I get that. But I personally, this is an opinion. This is an opinion. I personally think that cultivating the self, filling up the self so much that when you give from your overflow, not only does it benefit others, but it benefits you. It's almost like you have this urge to take it. I have too much. I have too much. But I hear you at the same time, Piccolo. We do have to take care of the world. I just can't help but feel the millennial generation. I have no idea what Gen Z is up to these days, but the millennial generation is always this like Superman complex. Maybe that's why there's so many Marvel and superhero videos at this time. Everyone wants to be the superhero, and it's like, maybe we don't need the superhero right now, man. Maybe we just need everyone to be at peace in their own backyard, barbecuing tasty treats with the fam in the local community, and just like breathing easy. Just breathing easy. Let's just breathing easy with each other. That's just me. But take care of the world when you can. All right. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna have to agree with you in context, Piccolo, in saying that we do have to look out for one another. When there are atrocities going on in the world like there are in the Middle East right now, we do have to speak out against the evil, because again, what in the world is going on right now, like this video was titled, is there's extreme darkness going on that we don't realize is evil because it's darkness, because inherently that's what darkness is. It's confusing, it's confounding, it's obscure, it's not something you can, it's like trying to find something in the dark. You don't know what you're grabbing for. You can't see if it's good or bad because you can't see, period. And that's what's happening right now. That's what's going on. But people like the ones in this chat room, I assume, are a little more enlightened to what's going on behind the scenes, are a little more hip to, hey, the media lies. That's why it's called the media, the Greek goddess of illusion and enchantments. The media lies, the government's corrupt to the bone, the left, right, red, blue, donkey, elephant, it's all corrupt to the bone. Biden can come out right now and be like,